begin. You know what? Hold on. Let me find a game to talk about in my big book here. 1001 games you have to play before you die. Let's see. I'm trying to find like a specific good one to talk about. I'm not randomly selecting anymore. I'm just kind of looking through, trying to find a name to talk about. Come now. Aha! Oh, I'm sorry. Were you expecting me to talk about a game? Let's talk about... I actually couldn't find one there that I wanted to talk about. I saw GoldenEye, but I'm like... It's actually funny. A lot of the games that I saw in that book, I'm like, I've already talked about those on my own. I really don't know what to say at this point. But that's okay. Sometimes you don't need to say anything. Sometimes you just need to let your actions speak for you. Come on. Let's go with Spike. Don't make me break out Spike Ninja. Ooh, where's the next save? Oh, it's right there. So close. I would like to see the other Spikes die. If I have to die, can the other Spikes please go? I'm a very bitter person. Would like to see my comrades in arms fall too. Oh, you have to like... You've really got to stall there. Is he an up Spike? Is he a down Spike? He's the multiple personality disorder Spike. Good for you. Live the way that you want. Or don't. It's a multiple personality disorder. Who knows what he wants to do? Poor guy. He's not the guy. He's not my daughter. My daughter would never be allowed to marry into the Spike clan. The Spike Ninja clan. Forbidden! Or do you want to bring shame to my family? By the way, speaking of bringing shame to your family, I was, the other day at work, this is a great story to tell. I actually forgot about this story. I wanted to tell it, but I totally forgot. Okay. Let me set the scene for you guys. This is a prom. It is a high school prom. I think it's the senior prom. Now, this is no normal senior prom if they can afford to go to my work. My work is a very expensive place to rent out. I think it costs like $6,000 just to rent the building out for the night. So, this place don't come cheap, okay? And I'll remind you that you don't get it for the night. You get it for like 5 hours. It's like $1,200 per hour. Okay, it's pretty darn crazy. Not counting my paycheck and the food and everything else and all the upgrades they can get and blah 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 blah. So, the people that rented the building for their prom, the name of the school is the Christian Chinese School Prom. Now, not to be confused with my earlier rant when I was at Missing No about the older people who, like, didn't speak English and were very frustrating. No, everybody at this prom spoke perfect English. They were very courteous. They even called me sir. I never get called sir. Very courteous kids. I really liked them. Good kids, but I'm sorry. They were boring as a sack of potatoes. You know what? No. A sack of potatoes is more interesting. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because at least a sack of potatoes are allowed to touch each other. And I know that sounds weird, but at the prom, they were not allowed to touch dance. They had to line dance. Okay, let me let that sink in for a little bit. 180 Christian Chinese kids. And they seem like perfectly normal kids to me. They didn't seem uptight at all. It just seemed like their parents or the chaperones were like the really uptight ones. They were all on their phones. They were talking about this. I think I heard one guy talking about like, I think God mode in some kind of game or another. He's like, oh yeah, to activate the God mode, blah, 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 blah. I didn't really hear what he was saying or what game he was talking about, but I definitely heard that he was talking about a game. I'm like, oh yeah, good for you, kid. So, I mean, they seem like perfectly well-balanced kids to me, but not allowed to touch dance. They all had to line dance. They all had to do the electric slide, which was pretty darn hilarious to see. And they had a good time with it, though. And they even got to do these, like, weird little math puzzles where, like, they made, like, they put, like, marshmallows together with, like, toothpicks to make, like, a solid building kind of construct, like a cubic kind of marshmallow construct architecture kind of thing. At a prom! How depressing is that? Well, that, right there. How depressing is that? What did you guys do if you went to your prom? I didn't go to my prom, personally, because my high school wanted to have it on, like, a boat. Like a cruise boat or something, and they wanted, like, $600 for the ticket. I'm like, no, thank you, goodbye, see ya. Get me out of here, let me graduate so I can get away from this stinking school. And it wasn't because, like, the school's well off or anything like that. They just decided, hey, let's have a cruise, and it'll be super expensive for the students. It was a dumb idea. So I didn't go to my prom. I just went bowling with a whole bunch of my friends in, like, our prom get-ups. It was a pretty fun evening. I liked it. Got to see all the fun faces of those bowling jockeys. Seeing a whole bunch of kids roll on up in prom get-ups. But that's not what I wanted to talk about. What I wanted to talk about in the whole disappointment to family thing is... Okay, this is a little... I'm sorry, this almost sounds like the beginning to a bad joke, but it isn't. This is actually true. So, I'd say about 98% of the kids there were Asian, okay? But a few of them actually had dates, and I get the impression that you can't go to this school unless you are either Christian and or Chinese of Asian descent. So there was pretty much no other ethnicities there except for a few people who had brought dates from other schools. There was like one white guy, one white girl, a black guy, and a black girl. But they were all, like, paired up with different people. Like, they didn't come together as dates, you know, like, the black guy and the white girl didn't come together as a date. They all had, like, Asian dates. And that's why they were allowed to come to this event. However, the only black guy there, and he seemed like a fine young gentleman. He seemed as well-mannered as the next guy. But when one of my coworkers was, going out back to get the moving truck so we could move a whole bunch of chairs out of storage so that we could get ready for the next night, because the party was starting to wrap up and blah, 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 blah. He was going back in the back to go get the truck, and the truck is like outside, maybe about 200 feet outside of the gates. And as he was going to go get the truck, he sees the black guy and his Asian date walking back very shamefacedly from the dumpster area, looking like they know what they did. So... And the girl had, like, her dress kind of hiked up a little bit. Not like... It was almost, like, up past her knees. And we don't really know what happened, but it's pretty obvious that something happened. And when my coworker told me about this, well, not immediately, but I went like 5 minutes later and I looked at him. I casually looked at him just to see, like, I wanted to see if he was, like, looking at me like, you know what you did, kind of thing. And I'm not judging him, I'm just saying stuff went down, and of all the places to have it go down, you pick the dumpster area at the Christian Chinese school prom. Oh, God. And the guy had like his coat off. The girl was guzzling water. I don't know what the hell they did, but she was drinking it up. I just saw her. Oh my god. So, that's a little bit of a disappointment to Femery. And the funniest thing is, you know how many chaperones they had? For a normal party, for like a little tiny party-ish, I'd say for normal proms, if you're just gonna have like, I don't know, maybe 100 kids there, you maybe want like one chaperone per 20 kids. Would you say that's about right? So if there's like a group of 100 kids, you maybe want about at least 5 supervisors. There was, I think, 150 kids. You know how many supervisors they had? 28. Alright, so, despite the small number of kids, because I'm sorry, 100 people, and maybe it's just because I've gotten so jaded from having these huge parties where I'm taking care of like 500 people, about 130 people, 150, whatever I said, is not a very big party, and you really need 29 adults, and even then you couldn't control these kids? It's the funniest thing ever. Because of the irony. So, that happened. Oh, yoy. Come on, I gotta get past this tower. I don't want to be here forever. Of course, I could just keep rehashing some of these old stories that I got. Oh, I don't want to pause there. I just want to keep going. There you go. By the way, I've hit my commentary stride. I was kind of struggling there for a little bit, but I'm here now. I'm wide awake. Man, my gums are gonna be. I still got like a pained like canker sore on my gums or something. It's terrible. I'm surprised I'm even recording right now. I don't know what's going on with my gums, but they've been hurting for like a week. Well, maybe not a full week, maybe like 4 days. Off and on. It's just a spot on. I've had canker sores before on my lip, but this looks like it's on my gums, so it might take a little bit longer to heal up. It's almost like, well, it looks like a sore, but it's like almost kind of whitish and kind of. It's not pussy. I'm sorry to get into these descriptive statements, but gotta deal with the diseases as they come. Isn't that right, prom date? Oh God. Oh, that... Are you... And you know what the worst part is? She probably wasn't on birth control because she's, you know, Christian. Like, these weren't, like, just Christian kids. These were, like, almost hardcore Catholic kids, too. So... And I think it's even worse because they had, like, a pastor there. Well, I'm not saying because there was a pastor there, but the pastor, like, got up, He was like a mid-30s, young parent kind of guy who's super duper enthusiastic about getting the kids into team spirit. You know, come on kids, we're all in this race together kind of guy. And just... He was reading them passages from the Bible about love and what love is and what the Bible says about love, and... At least that's the parts that I heard. I didn't stick around for the whole thing. He was reading for like... I don't know, a good 40 minutes? And I'm sorry. I don't care what religion you are. If you pay somebody to... They're paying us to come and have a prom. They're paying... I think they paid like $9,000 to come and have their prom here. And all they're doing is sitting down, listening to some... And they didn't even look like they were into it. They're just like... I don't know what the normal... thing they do there is, but even these kids were pretty pissed, I could tell. Wouldn't you think that the prom would be like the one place where you can just kind of let it go just for a little bit? You know, maybe not, you know, go behind the dumpsters, but can't you just get away from it all? Can't you just... I don't know, can't you have an opportunity to show That you've learned good values instead of just being constantly barraged with good value lessons, you know? I don't know. It's a tricky business, getting your legs up in the air behind a dumpster. Oh my gosh. I would say I'm the worst person ever, but I'm not the one who had sex behind a dumpster area at my school Christian Chinese prom. Jeez. And you know what the worst part is? The worst part for, well, in my aspect anyway, because I really enjoy soda, the worst part for these kids is they were supposed to have like a bar, like not even an open bar, not even with alcohol, they were supposed to have like a bar with like soda. And there was some kind of mix-up where they didn't even get that. And they just had water and coffee. Water and coffee. Thank you. Jeez, I almost... Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I almost messed that up big time. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's right, he's still there. Ooh. Okay, we're getting close to the end of the climb, though. We're getting to the climax. Those kids. Hold on, let me check my phone. My nose is itching again. Nope, nothing. Okay, it is currently 2:30 in the AM on March 3rd. Just to give you guys a little bit of perspective, you guys might not see this until like the 9th or the 10th, depending on how well the final boss fight goes. Oh, I specifically I sat on the platform for like a super duper long time. Like that, you see? I just got a really weird thought in my head. How does a spike commit seppuku? I don't know why I thought of that. I think that'd be very... Can a spike commit seppuku? I'm not even sure if I'm saying that right. You know the whole Japanese thing where they stab themselves in the belly? That's a really mean thing. Oh, come on, I was doing so well! Oh, I can't, like, scoot under that. Oh, well.